Motivation is one of the best things that you can have in your repertoire because it gives you the momentum you need to show up for your goals and allow you to actually be successful with them. The problem is motivation fades. And motivation doesn't fade because we're just giving up, but motivation fades because of our unhealthy habits and behaviors and thoughts. So today I want to share the top things that you're doing that are decreasing your motivation and how to shift those and change them so you can increase your motivation instead. The first thing that you're doing all wrong is being inconsistent with your goals. Some days you show up for it, some days you don't. The thing is, we're creatures of habit, and so if we're not consistently working on our goals, then eventually it just becomes kind of a passing thought. It's no longer something that we're excited about. But if you're consistently working on it, it builds that momentum, which builds that motivation, it builds that consistency. You then turn it into more of a routine and a habit. And before you know it, you're even closer to your goals, which in of itself is actually going to increase your motivation. The next thing that's stopping you from being motivated and really showing up fully for your goals is your mindset. The reality is, if you think negative things, it's going to reflect in your life. So if you're constantly telling yourself, nope, I can't accomplish this, or I'm not confident enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it may be, that's also going to reflect in your life. So what I challenge you to do to shift this and actually increase your motivation is to start thinking positive. Sometimes it may feel a little fake in the beginning, but one thing that I do is I affirm myself. I remind myself why this goal is important, why I should show up, why I need to move forward with this. And the more I affirm myself, I notice that my motivation also started to match that and increase as well. So choose to focus on the positive. Choose to focus on the positive. And remember, you're your own cheerleader. Root yourself on, believe in yourself, cheer yourself on, and watch how your motivation begins to increase accordingly. The third thing you're doing wrong that's totally zapping your motivation is trying to do too many things at once. Now, we all know we live in a busy world and there's a million different ways that our attention is being tugged and pulled. But a lot of times we try to adopt the idea of multitasking. If I do this at the same time I do this, then I'll get closer to my goals. But research actually shows that multitasking actually teaches your brain to underperform, even as low as operating at like an 8-year-old level. And I don't know about you, but I don't want an 8-year-old directing and leading my life in the direction of my goals. So instead of trying to balance and juggle a million different things, first look at your schedule and determine what doesn't need to be on your plate to begin with. Then consider how you can really focus on one thing at a time so that you're giving it your full attention and really showing up fully as yourself. When you commit to doing this, you'll notice you'll naturally feel better. You won't feel so bogged down and exhausted, and your motivation will begin to come back as well. The next thing you're doing wrong is you haven't attached a strong why behind your motivation. Here's the thing. We set goals and we're really excited about goals, but what is the reason that you're going after the goal? If you're doing it because so-and-so told you to do it, or you're doing it because you felt, like you needed to, but you don't really feel that draw or that pull or that hook to make it happen, you're never going to maintain that motivation. So for me, one thing I always do is I always attach a very strong reason why I need to go after this goal. I remember writing my first book, and my strong why was wanting to leave a legacy for my daughters. So every time I was exhausted, every time I didn't feel like writing, every time I wanted to hit my snooze button and sleep in instead of waking up and writing, I would remember that it was so much bigger than me and that I was showing up for my daughters. So when you create a strong why and you keep it in the forefront of your mind, your why will always give you the motivation you need to keep pushing beyond yourself, pushing beyond your emotions, and really showing up fully for your goals. The next mistake you're making is comparing yourself to other people. How many times have you got on Instagram or Facebook or looked at your favorite celebrity or watched your favorite movie or TV show and just started to just say, man, I really want to be like that person. And then you feel like your life is no good and you're looking at their highlight reels. You're comparing someone's step 10 to your step 1 and getting discouraged. The one thing that I always teach my clients is I say that you should just be trying to be better than yourself. Think about it. If you commit to just taking one step forward, getting 1% better every single day, at the end of the year, you're 365% better than you were the year before. And if that doesn't provide you any motivation, I don't know what will. But choose to focus on comparing yourself to you and focus on being better than you were yesterday instead of comparing yourself to other people and what you think their life looks like. Remember, they always say the grass is greener on the other side, but I firmly believe that the grass is greener where you actually water and take care of it. Finally, the last reason that you're not able to maintain your motivation is because you're exhausting yourself trying to take on so many things and not taking care of yourself. The quickest way to burn out is by failing to rest and recharge. I cannot tell you how important this is. I read a book a few years ago called Sabbath Keeping, which changed my life because I went through this whole idea that I had to show up and just do everything. And we all think that, right? We think that we have to be everywhere, doing everything at all time, and that breaks are bad. But what I found through reading this book is that the more I took breaks, the more I was able to show up fully as myself. And so it's important that you're able to recharge, refresh, and restore and regroup, and then approach your task in a healthier and well-rested manner. So what I challenge you to do instead of failing to rest and recharge or putting self-care on the back burner is actually choosing to commit to it. Determining how you can show up and take care of yourself every day. This may look like getting 8 hours full of sleep. This may look like asking for help when you need help. This may look like feeding your body with the right food and nutrition that's going to keep you energized. And watch, these little small shifts and changes will help you to show up in crazy and unique ways. And before you know it, you'll have more energy than you've probably ever had before. And you'll be excited because you'll start to produce things in alignment with your goal that blow your mind. And so that will give you motivation in of itself. The thing is, motivation isn't a one and done. You can't say, I'm motivated today, checked it off my to-do list, I'm out of here. Motivation is something that you have to commit to every single day. And you have to avoid things that will take it away because motivation is really going to give you the momentum you need with your goals. So what I challenge you to do today is I challenge you to think of ways that you can start to incorporate these routines and these habits into your life so that you can commit to making motivation your priority, and in turn, bringing your big vision and big dream and big desire for your life into fruition in your life.